feel like we've got one shot to find this guy before he disappears again.
Many of you were asking if after the Catfish cancellation, will we still continue to talk about Catfish? The answer is yes. Yes, we will, because I've never watched it from, you guys have known this, it's never been a fangirl stance. It's never been about the ultimate allegiance to anybody. It's always been about watching it from a critical perspective and always giving my thoughts and my feelings and my opinions. And that will never change. After Kamie mentioned this episode, when she spoke on the Catfish cancellation, it only felt right that we dive right into it. So this is the last ever Catfish episode that has been released. Rain and Piers, season 9, episode 15. And if some of you are wondering, Jada, where's the matching makeup to the nails? Where's the matching makeup to the shirt? Where's the makeup at all? I'm sick. I'm feeling under the weather. So this is what we're working with, people. And I know someone is going to ask what is on my lips. It is the Topical Slick Salve in Papaya. I wanted the clear one, but the clear one is scented like mint, and I don't like mint for anything. Really, in my mind, mint is meant for toothpaste. It is meant for mouthwash, and that's it. Okay? Mint chocolate chip lovers, I don't want to hear it. But yeah, that's what's on my lips. I really like it. Not sponsored, but great stuff. I love topicals. Let's get into the episode. We start off with an email from Rain, who is 20 years old, lives in Houston, and works at a pizza restaurant. Kamie wastes absolutely no time with a quick whip about whether or not that pizza shop has gluten-free crust because she is a gluten-free queen. Should I also be a gluten-free queen? Probably. Am I going to still eat bread? Well, yes. Yes, I am. Rain has been homeschooled and thus has spent most of her free time online in fandoms. While in these fandoms, about 7 years ago, she connected with Piers. Despite Piers being about 2 years older than her, they became best friends. However, the whole time, Rain was secretly falling in love with him. She knew that deep down, things likely would not work out because he lived in London, England, and she lived in America. I'm not sure where she lived when they first started talking. At this point, she lives in Houston, Texas. Rain says that Piers has always been mysterious. However, to me, what she's describing as mysterious just comes across as sketchy, elusive behavior. Doesn't give mysterious to me, but that's just my opinion personally. He never told Rain his last name. They never connected on any other social media platforms besides his fandom account and one Instagram page. He also had a habit of ghosting her for days, weeks, and eventually years with no explanation or justification as to why he had disappeared in the first place. However, recently, after 4 years straight of ghosting, Piers reached out. Rain says it feels like it's fate that they reconnected, and she cannot miss out on the opportunity to find out who he really is and what he really wants from her. Girl. To be honest, who he really is and what he wants from her, completely irrelevant. Girl, he's been gone for 4 years. 4 years. No one who really wants you will just up and disappear without communication for 4 years. That's just not happening. Kamie completely sums up, I'm sure, all of our thoughts and feelings about this ghosting act of his.
4 years, you go missing on me? Forget it. 4 hours, forget it.
And after 4 hours,
I'm done.
You're
I'm
done.
single.
Our hosts hop on a call with Rain, and we find out that she is actually the reason they reconnected in the first place, kinda sorta. So what happened was, one day she noticed that Piers was back following her on Instagram. She messaged him, and he began speaking to her as if he was just picking up a conversation from the day before, not from 4 years ago. Very weird, very strange behavior if you ask me. But you didn't ask me, so let's keep it going. Rain did not press him about why he had disappeared, why he had just popped back up. She said that she allowed the conversation to just naturally continue because she has a deep desire to be in a relationship with him, to be locked in, to be with him. They hop off the call and head down to Houston to meet up with Rain in person. Even Kamie agreed that it's a little bit weird that Rain even gives him the time of day, considering everything that's happened. Nev makes an awful pun. One other man on set laughs, nobody else.
If this guy rains on her parade, there will be no tears for Piers.
And then we're all of a sudden in Houston. Y'all know Houston is Beyonce's city, so Kamie does what any normal member of the Bayhive would do. Calls out for Beyonce with her window down.
Beyonce!
Rain is outside waiting for the Catfish crew as they pull up, and we then head inside and meet her adorable pets before getting into the catfish of it all. Rain seems like a very sweet but very introverted girl, and we then find out that she named one of her cats after this random catfish from England.
I named my cat after Piers.
Lord have mercy. I don't know if I would name a pet after a man that I was dating or seeing or talking to or being catfished by, but that is just me personally. Rain lets us know that she doesn't have a very strong motherly figure in her life. She says that her mom was present, but it's very much giving that she didn't know how to be a mom, she didn't care to learn, and she wasn't emotionally present whatsoever. So that resulted in Rain struggling to develop healthy relationships with others and with herself. This to me gives a lot of insight as to how and why she would be willing to accept a relationship or any sort of connection with somebody who is inconsistent and not really there for her. It's the love that she learned to accept from her mother. Not to get too deep on y'all only a couple minutes into the video, but this is a huge part of why I believe it's so important to work on yourself, heal any childhood traumas, and really enjoy your own company before pursuing a healthy, stable, and long-term relationship with anybody else. Otherwise, those issues are going to just keep popping up and causing harm to yourself or potentially others and really getting in the way of your happiness.
Damn!
But back to the episode. Rain says that her home life was quite tumultuous and she would confide in Piers a lot about home-related issues. She told him everything and he was always there for her, and she begins to get emotional about this.
I told him everything. He was there for me all that time.
We find out that they never spoke on the phone or video chatted, they exclusively messaged one another. We also find out that at first they did not have real pictures of each other as their icons on this little fandom page thing. I was never really a fandom girly like this, so I don't really know how this works, but it was just anime characters as their icons.
Hey, yo!
This honestly scares me a little bit because for all we know, this could be an old internet creep who went out of their way to connect with children. Like, she genuinely has no idea who this could be, and yet she was confiding in him about everything. This could have put her in a very dangerous, very precarious situation as a child. Thank God nothing happened to her as a result of it. But I also understand that as a child, you would need that outlet. But as an adult, in my mind at least, you would think that she would have been able to analyze the situation with a little bit more clarity. At some point, they did exchange pictures of each other, but that was about 4 or 5 months of speaking. Not shockingly, Rain knows very little about Mr. Piers. Every time I say Piers, I just think of Piers Morgan.
Okay.
So she says that her and Piers would joke about meeting with each other, but there were never any real plans to make that happen considering they were so young. What 13-year-old is going to have the money to fly to London, England and meet their boo, you know? Rain says that Piers ghosted her about 4 or 5 times before disappearing for 4 years. Rain says that she never confronted him because she loves him so much. Y'all, never love someone more than you respect yourself. Can I get an amen? Amen. We see pictures of Piers, and Kamie, so very seriously, says that he looks like he could be from England. Now, I don't know if she meant for this to be shady, but it definitely came across as shady to me. She said, y'all from England, y'all got a particular look. And Piers, he got that look.
This guy could be from England.
Oh yeah.
Rain says that originally the fandom group was a large group of people, and they went off into a separate subgroup of people, and that was Rain, Piers, Chloe, Sam, and John. She has never met any of these people in person, but she has spoken to Chloe on the phone, so she knows Chloe is real, like a video chat. However, around the same time that Piers disappeared, so did Sam and John. So something's definitely a little bit sketchy if you ask me. Despite having very little information to go off of, Nev and Kamie head out to get to investigating. Lord, why was that hard for me today? In the car debrief, Kamie makes a really good point when she says that Rain is kind of emotionally stunted, and it's as if she is still 13.
Rain is still stuck in the same place that she's been since she was 13, 14, 15.
And I think that's what happens when you are emotionally traumatized at a specific age. Unless you are actively working with somebody else, like a professional, to get out of that trauma, you are going to be emotionally stunted at that age. I feel like that's very common, and I feel like that's often why you meet some of the people that you meet. Okay, we'll move on. We get to investigating in a hotel room instead of a cute cafe, which y'all know how I feel about that. I love a cute cafe. But we actually start off the investigation with another dad joke, only this time it is not from Nev, it is actually from Kamie.
Somebody's capping, so we gotta recap.
Rain gives them her Instagram login because a lot of the accounts from her anime friends are private, so they are unable to really see these accounts or access them any other way. They start by looking at Piers' page. He has nothing on there and doesn't have any tag pictures either, It's clearly an account that really isn't actively used. They then head to John's Instagram, which is more or less the same as Piers, which is interesting. Almost like they're the same person. I don't know, something's going on there. Chloe's page is the only one that looks real and current. So they send her a message asking her to reach out. When they reverse image search some of the pictures of Piers, we get nothing, and then the search is interrupted by a call from Chloe. She hops on a video call, so we know that she is in fact real. She says that she has very little information to give them because all she can really remember about the situation is that Rain was obsessed with Piers. Okay, girl. Do tell.
I just mainly remember him because she was like obsessed with him.
She says that she knows Sam is real because they FaceTimed and spoke over the phone, and she actually knew Sam the longest out of anybody. She then says that she hasn't spoken to John in a long time, but they live in the same city, so they've met in person before. So it looks like he's also real, at least according to Chloe. She then drops some tea when she says that she was with John in person before. He said that he spoke to Piers on the phone, and Piers was not really British. He actually lives in Jacksonville, the same city that they live in.
I was talking to John one time, and John was like, oh, I've been on the phone with Piers before, and he's not actually British. He said that he actually lives in Jacksonville.
Oh, girl. This is tea for me. Not funny, because this is all happening with Rain, and she's very emotionally traumatized, but still tea. So far, the only person whose identity she cannot confirm is Piers. So either Piers isn't real, or Chloe is lying about it all, and she is actually the one catfishing her friend. Put your money down on which one you think it's gonna be. Chloe says that she will try to send them any information that she can find, specifically about connecting them with John or Sam or Piers, and then they hop off the call. Nev and Kamie suspect that John may in fact be the catfish. So thinking this, they then go back on Rain's Instagram account and they go through Rain and John's messages. And it's really giving off the vibe that John had or currently has feelings for Rain. We don't know how long ago these messages were sent. They don't really tell us. But to be honest, it wouldn't shock me if John ended up being the catfish because he is he's the only one who claims to have spoken to Piers, and their Instagrams are very similar, and they stopped posting at around the same time. But keep in mind, all of this information is being filtered through Chloe, so don't know if we should believe it or not. Despite having very little information, they scoop up Rain and finally head to a cute little cafe to tell her what they were able to piece together. They confront her about the more than friendly messages between her and John, and she says that that's just how everybody would speak in the group chat. They were a little freaked out. But she never had feelings for John. She says that she was in denial about any feelings John had for her because John and Sam dated, so she didn't want to get in the middle of all that.
Did you ever get a sense that he maybe had feelings for you?
Okay, a little bit, but I didn't want to think that way because Sam and John dated.
When Nev and Kamie recap their conversation with Chloe, Rain seems shocked and tells us that she doesn't know anyone in Jacksonville besides Chloe and John. They decide to send Chloe a little follow-up message and just ask her if she was able to find anything for them. And she responds, she says that she was unable to, but she will reach back out tomorrow if she does find anything. Our hosts decide that they are going to try to get in contact with John, but they just gently let Rain know that something is up, something is not right here, and Piers is likely not who she thinks he is. I really appreciate the fact that they just kind of laid it all out there. They didn't give her any sort of false hope. They didn't allow her to think that who she's been talking to and thinking of this whole time is in fact the real person. They're just like, yeah, girl, don't get your hopes up and be ready for the worst. Usually they give people a false sense of security. So I really appreciate that they didn't do that with Rain, especially considering how emotionally fragile she seems to be. Nev and Kamie then encourage Rain to stand up for herself and confront Piers. So this is normally the part where Nev or Kamie would send a message to the catfish, but they're encouraging Rain to do that herself. I can really appreciate this because it seems like Rain needs to get comfortable standing up for herself, and they're just trying to kind of start pushing her, gently nudging her in that direction. Rain does a very good job at clearly explaining her perspective in this message, her point of view, and basically tells them that it's time to shit or get off the pot.
Makes me feel like you don't truly value me, and I think I deserve more.
Are we meeting up or not? Because if not, we're calling it quits. I don't want to speak to you. Rain says that sending that felt very empowering, and I honestly love that for her. I hope she continues to keep that baddie energy because standing up for yourself is a beautiful thing, especially when you come from a background where no one really stands up for you. It can feel so, powerful, and not in a way that's like evil or devious, but in a way that just makes you feel more like yourself. They leave the cafe, they drop Rain off at home, and they tell her to get ready to travel tomorrow to wherever the Catfish is, whether they hear from Piers or not. Which, I don't know, I feel like they kind of gave it away a little bit with this, but let's keep acting like we don't know who it is, right? The next day, very early in the morning, we are outside Nev and Kamie's hotel, and we found out that nobody has heard back from anyone, not even Chloe. So they decide to head out to Jacksonville because that's likely where everyone is, right? According to Chloe, that's where John, and that's where John said that Piers lives. So all roads lead to Jacksonville. But Nev says that if Piers is really in London, then they'll head to London. I think Nev just wants to go to London, but they're going to Jacksonville. Rain says that either way, she is really excited to meet Chloe for the first time, and for her sake, I really hope that Chloe is not the Catfish, because this was the only person out of the group that Rain kept in contact with. They are friends. This is one of the first people that she instilled a lot of trust into. So I would hope that Chloe wouldn't do her dirty like this, right? We can only hope. Before they head out to the airport, they send Chloe a message letting her know that they are on their way, asking her to get in contact with John in some way, and asking her to be ready to meet up when they land. We safely arrive in Jacksonville and we get a message from Chloe. She tells them to meet her at a park in an hour.
It's Chloe. Said meet at this park in an hour if you can.
Get somebody else to do it.
Huh? What do you mean? What do you mean? Y'all, it's Chloe the Catfish. Nev responds and he asks, so who are we meeting? Chloe doesn't respond, so they head to the park anyways. I do not have a good feeling about this. Rain says that if she is in fact being catfished by one of her friends, it would break her heart because she doesn't want to be lied to. We pull up at the park and begin looking for someone because we're not really sure who we're supposed to be meeting right now. We walk over to some trees in the park and we see Chloe standing there by herself. Chloe and Rain embrace and they're clearly excited to see each other.
Hi, lady. Oh my God, you're so cute. Goodness, girl.
Chloe says that she thought that she would be able to get a hold of John and have them all meet there together, but Nev inquires as to why exactly she wanted John to be there. Like, did she just genuinely want to talk, or does she know more about this whole Piers situation than she is letting on? Chloe nervously bites her lip before admitting that she knows something about Piers that they do not know. Okay, girl, spit it out. Spit it out. Chloe says that there are a lot of things that Rain doesn't know. She says that she had a bunch of random fandom accounts and says that when they first met, she was actually using a different account. Nev says, are we talking about Piers?
So I am confusion.
This girl gonna say, yeah, that's what I'm alluding to.
Are we talking about the Piers account?
That's what I'm alluding to, yeah.
First of all, why the hell are you speaking in riddles? You could have saved us a hell of a lot of time by just saying you are the Catfish and then explaining everything else. I had a bunch of different accounts when we first started talking. Okay, are you Piers or not? This whole thing, at least right now, is not really making sense to me, and Chloe really just went and wasted everyone's time for what? Rain looks extremely heartbroken and she looks like she wants to cry, and I cannot say that I blame her. Chloe brushes off the severity of the situation by saying she was only 12 when it started and everything they were doing was role play anyways.
When all of this occurred, I was 12. Most of the stuff that happened on those was role playing anyway.
She is giggling as she is explaining herself, which makes me want to smack her. I can't lie. I don't like when people are like this. And it's like, okay, at the time you were 12, but you're not 12 now. You could have come clean at any point. And what was the reason for the account popping back up recently?
Quickly.
It sounds like she's low-key getting off on playing with her very emotionally fragile friend, and I don't like that at all. Chloe claims that once she realized Rain had feelings for the Piers account, she backed off because, quote-unquote, that's an area she doesn't want to touch.
Like, okay, well, that's kind of like an area that I don't want to touch.
Girl, you're full of shit. You're full of shit. Now that we know she's the Catfish, it's very weird to think about the way that she first talked about this with Nev and Kamie. She was talking about, oh yeah, I only know about him because she was obsessed with him. Knowing that she was the Catfish all along. It's very just weirdo and a little bit sickening behavior. And not in like sickening, fierce, sickening, like throw up, vomit, gross. Also constantly contradicts herself when saying, oh yeah, I backed off once I realized there was romantic feelings. Not true, because you continue to talk to her and you also continue to come back every time you ghosted to play into those romantic feelings. So you're a liar and you look stupid. Rain asks Chloe why she didn't just come clean, and Chloe says that because she was a kid, she didn't think any of it mattered. She didn't think that she and Rain would still be talking like today.
Why didn't you tell me?
I was a kid, and I didn't think any of it would matter.
These sound like awful, terrible, horrible excuses, things you didn't really think through, because even if you're like, yeah, I was a kid, okay, well, you're not now. I didn't think any of it mattered. Obviously, it does matter. I didn't think that you and I would still be talking. Okay, well, you guys are still talking. You were still friends, so...
Oh, this girl is delusional.
It sounds like everything she's saying at this point is to evade and escape any sort of responsibility, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Kamie hops in and says, girl, you are not a kid. Why did you pop up again as Piers? Thank you for asking the questions we need answers to, okay? Chloe claims that she would log into the account just to check and see who Piers was. She would check into all of her Catfish accounts occasionally when she remembered about them. She wanted to try to remember who she was pretending to be when she was pretending to be this person. Okay? One thing that really irritates me is nobody's asking her if she's doing this to other people. I would assume so, but maybe I'm wrong for that. Chloe then claims that she never followed Rain from the Piers account, so she's not sure how it happened.
I didn't mean to follow you from that account. I honestly don't really know how it happened.
Be fucking for real.
Be fucking for real. Be fucking for real.
Chloe then gives a half-hearted apology, something that I'm viewing as very disingenuous personally, because she has a big smile on her face, and that's honestly so aggravating to me, because it's not like an awkward, like, oh, I feel sorry. It's like, ha, this is so funny.
I'm sorry that I put you through any of that emotional distress.
What's funny about it? Who's it funny to? Maybe I'm missing something. I don't think anything about this is funny. Chloe says that she didn't think that they would meet, and she didn't want to break Rain's heart, so it was easier to just keep casually catfishing Rain in hopes that eventually Rain would lose interest and stop. What? You're pissing me off, girl. You're really pissing me off, for real. Chloe says that she initially lied, like, yeah, I did lie a little bit, but now is definitely the appropriate time to come clean. The appropriate time to come clean would have actually been years ago. It would have been years ago, or it would have been when they called you earlier. But what the hell do I know, yeah? Yeah. Okay. Rain is very emotional, understandably so, and she says that while she now appreciates Chloe being honest, she is feeling overwhelmed because she didn't expect her friend to do this to her. Chloe says that she doesn't think she had feelings for Rain. They were all just kids and they were role-playing so they could have someone to talk to. I don't know what she keeps talking about with this role-playing stuff because it was never mentioned before this point. There's a difference between a fandom and like a role-playing situation. That just sounds like a convenient excuse. Chloe says that John and Sam are real. The only one who wasn't real was Piers, but why would we believe a lying liar who lies? And we've seen no evidence that John or Sam are real. So, for all we know, you could have been everybody in this situation. She keeps laughing. And thank God, Kamie and Nev clock her about this. They tell her that the situation is not funny.
What's funny?
Like, this isn't funny.
And in my opinion, it is very cruel to be laughing about all of this while Rain is sitting there crying, clearly distraught. That's rude. That's mean. I don't like that. They decide to call the meeting quits there and meet back up the following day. In the car, Rain is breaking down because Chloe was laughing that whole time, acting like this was not serious, but this was really serious to her.
She's like laughing. Not that serious, but it was really serious to me.
And I cannot imagine how devastating this was. She finally let someone in emotionally, and this is how it ends up. And not just, because obviously Piers is Chloe, but in her mind, Piers and Chloe were two different people. So now they're the same person, they both ended up hurting her, right? It's like a weird layered emotional trauma that she's having to process in real time while having the lady who did it laughing in her face. Sometimes a good crash out is necessary. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. The next day, Nev, Kamie, and Rain meet up in their hotel room before heading out to meet with crusty Chloe again. Rain says that today is all about standing up for herself, so she is able to move on from all of this. She says she doesn't want to hear any laughter, any excuses. She wants Chloe to know how much she hurt her. They pull up on Chloe at her friend's place, and this dum-dum says that she is happy with the way things went yesterday.
How are you feeling after yesterday?
I'm happy with how things went.
Violence solves a lot of things, I think, sometimes.
Huh? Oh, this girl's scary. She's scary in the worst way possible, because what do you mean you're happy with how things went yesterday?
I'm about to beat this bitch up.
Kamie says, okay, girl, let Rain speak her truth. Because obviously they're living in two very different worlds, very different dimensions, to where Chloe thinks things went okay, Rain is breaking down. There's a disconnect here. Rain says that this has been a very big thing for her to process, that the point in time where she started communicating with both Chloe and Piers was very emotionally important for her, and she wishes that Chloe had been honest. Chloe then reaches over and grabs Rain's hand and holds it and rubs it over with the thumb while Rain is talking in an attempt to comfort Rain.
I don't know. I just wish you were more honest.
Which I think would have been a very sweet gesture if Chloe had actually in fact felt bad about what she did, but it just comes off as disingenuous. It doesn't come off as real at all. I can't tell you exactly why, but it just feels like more manipulation, more bullshit, for lack of a better word. My brain is not cooking all the way. I'm a little bit sick. Rain continues and basically just reiterates that she wishes Chloe had been honest instead of causing her further emotional harm. Chloe then hits us with the classic Catfish explanation when she says that everything she said as herself and as Piers was genuine. Now, listen here. How could that possibly be true when you just said yesterday it was roleplay and you don't have romantic feelings for her? How could everything be genuine when you're saying the core of what was going on was not genuine? Think. Chloe then says that they were both children in broken homes and the internet was their safe space. She says that being honest about catfishing her friend would have only hurt both of them.
I didn't say anything because I would only do it and it would only hurt both of us.
How, Sway? How are you gonna try and act like you're morally superior because you catfished your friend and didn't tell her?
Listen and we're judging hard. We listen and we judge hard.
That's like a man going out and cheating and then being like, yeah, well, I didn't tell you because, it would have hurt your feelings.
You done lost your damn mind.
Not telling me is not the thing that's hurting the feelings. The thing that's hurting the feelings is the wrongdoing you did in the first place. Chloe, the problem is not that you didn't tell her. Yes, that's a part of the problem, but you would have nothing to tell her if you didn't catfish her in the first place.
What's not clicking? What's not clicking?
Chloe claims that she knew what Rain was going through. She didn't want to add to her trauma.
I knew what you were going through. I didn't want to add that to you.
While, like I said, behind the scenes, you're constantly adding to the trauma. That don't make no sense, Miss Bird. It don't make no sense. Nev then gets a little buck with Chloe and calls out her blatant manipulation. He asks her if it's fair to say that she kept the catfishing a secret because it's not fun to admit that you're a liar.
It's not fun to tell someone that you lied.
Oh. Chloe says, well, I wouldn't word it like that. Nev says, yeah, girl, I know you wouldn't. Oh, okay. Okay.
I wouldn't word it like that.
Well, I know that.
Nev says that Chloe's approach is basically, why would I tell you the truth? It would have sucked for me. And I feel like that has literally been her approach this entire time. So let's see how she now tries to word salad her way out of it. Chloe claims that she wasn't thinking about herself because if she came clean, nothing would change for her, but a lot would change for Rain. She claims that Rain's best interest was in mind, never her own. She's stupid. If you think like this, something is wrong with you. You keeping it a secret is not you being like, yeah, I'm doing a noble thing to protect this person. The noble thing would have been to never hurt the person in the first place. You don't get a reward, you don't get a prize, you don't get a ribbon for keeping harm that you've caused to somebody else's secret. What the fuck? What? Chloe gives a half-hearted apology and says that she wants to continue to be friends with Rain and integrate Rain more in her real life instead of just being friends online.
I care about you a lot.
and I'm sorry.
Rain says that she needs time, but she does appreciate the honesty. Kamie makes it clear that Rain is now the one in control and Chloe needs to respect her request for space. Nev makes it clear that he is ready to get the hell up out of there, so they do just that. In the car, Nev and Kamie just hype Rain up and tell her how great of a job she did speaking up for herself, and I think it's the first time this whole episode we have gotten a real bright and beautiful smile from her. It was truly lovely to see.
You did great. You did. I'm really proud of you. Keep speaking up. Keep calling people out.
In our 2-month follow-up, we are just with Nev, not with Kamie, and now we know why. Okay. Rain says that she is still processing everything, but she has not spoken to Chloe. She says that Chloe has reached out to her, but she has not responded because she's not sure if she wants to continue a relationship based on lies, which is more than fair. But she says, regardless of how everything went down, the situation has in fact helped her to grow. Chloe says that things are good, again making it clear that she doesn't really give a fuck about what she did. She takes no responsibility for it. Oh, I was young.
What an odd thing to say.
Okay. But then we get Chloe's version of events, which is very different from Rain's version of events. Chloe says that Rain sent her a very nice message, basically just saying that she wasn't upset. Chloe wanted to talk more about things over the phone, but when she tried to call, Rain said that she was busy, she was at work, she didn't answer, but she never called back like she said she was going to. Chloe then sent Rain a text, and Rain never responded, which is interesting because that's not at all what Rain communicated, and just based off of this episode, it very much gives that I'm more likely to believe Rain's version of events rather than Chloe's. Chloe then says that it was much easier to get the weight of catfishing off of her shoulders with an entire team around her. This is crazy to me because even 2 months after filming, she still has the same attitude that Nev called out throughout the final meetup, and I didn't need to hear from Chloe, to be honest. I wish Rain the best. I hope she is doing great, and I hope that she has gotten the professional help to kind of guide her through navigating all of the changes that are going to come as you are healing your way out of a traumatic childhood. Chloe, I hope you get some brains in that bird head of yours, okay? If you made it all the way to the end of the video, you can drop a bird emoji down in the comments for you know who, alright? This was the last ever Catfish episode. Do I think it was a good one to end on? Not necessarily. Do I think that it perfectly encapsulated everything that typically goes on within a Catfish episode? Yeah, I think it did. There was deception, there was lies, it ended up being someone close to them, and the person ended up not taking any responsibility or accountability for the things that they've done. Sounds like a Catfish episode. If I could ever hear one, if AI wrote one, it might be something like this, okay? But I thank you all so much for being here. If you liked the video, make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you're aware of every single time that I upload. If there's another episode you'd like me to see, you can drop it down in the comments. If there's another show that you'd like me to cover, you can also drop it down in the comments, or you can leave me a DM here on Instagram. I thank you so much for being here, besties. Hopefully in the next video we feel a little bit better. We could put on a little beat for y'all. And I hope you enjoyed the video. See you later, guys.